Out of the gates and ready to go. Top Mike Hutton Withrow from outkick.com, and the madness is here. 6th and Peabody, our location, with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine. SEC tournament here in Nashville, and we're glad you're with us, streaming live on YouTube, which means you can join us in the chat right now. Drop a line, a question, a comment. Let us know who's winning and who's going to be the bubble buster from the brackets this weekend. Chad, a
cheers
beautiful
first
day.
off. Cheers.
Beautiful day. Cheers. I've got Old Smoky.
Great day
You've
for a
got
patio
Yeehaw.
drink.
A great day for hoops here in Nashville. You've got Kentucky and Florida tipping off right now, and that is followed by Tennessee and Vanderbilt for what is the arms race, Game 3.
Speaking of the arms race, Vanderbilt Law School just got $10 million worth of arms from Clay Travis, our fearless leader, just announced right before we came on. So congrats to Vanderbilt Law. I know a place that really shaped Clay and Laura Travis, and Clay talked about that in the press release. Yeah. But also congrats to the Travis household to have $10 million to give to Vanderbilt Law School. Great job all around.
Yeah, and he made some great comments in the release about what they're doing and why.
A First
the
Amendment Center.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of things going on there. So awesome job by Clay and Laura in all seriousness, and really cool for Vandy. On the verge of this Tennessee-Vandy rubber match game, Hutton, for bragging rights. And look, I'm a Tennessee grad, but there's no arguing the fact that this year, and this calendar year, Vanderbilt has been the better program. They beat Tennessee in football. They beat them in women's basketball for I think the second time ever. They beat them in Knoxville this year. And then basketball, if Tennessee can win today, they win 2 out of 3, and that would give them a notch in the belt over Vanderbilt. But it's been a great time under Candace Lee and all of Vanderbilt athletics also.
So the schedule today in the SEC quarterfinals, Florida taking on Kentucky, tip-off right now. Vanderbilt, Tennessee coming up at 2:30 Central Time, followed by the nightcap, the doubleheader, Alabama and Georgia, and Arkansas and Oklahoma, who continues to roll. Steamrolling through opponents. That's at 8:30 Central later tonight. Let's continue Vandy and Tennessee talk, because I want to Tennessee, the way they came out yesterday, slow, sluggish.
Yeah.
Ament looks fine.
Look great.
He looks fine. And
if you miss free throws away and a missed layup away from 30-plus points in that game, probably high 30s.
Yeah, and I mean, he was tired. That was kind of expected. But I expect this from Tennessee today, a quick start. Because typically, if you've been in the tournament, you get off to a quick start. The team that's been waiting to play normally turns it on in the second half. Can Tennessee do that? Can they get off to a quick start? Because typically, it's a second half team.
It's been a disturbing trend, Hutton, for Tennessee basketball. They scored 22 in the first half against Vandy, fell behind by 13 or whatever it was in Knoxville. Whatever urgency is, the opposite of that is what they showed against Vandy and Knoxville until the second half. They turned it up a bit, made it a game, but it wasn't enough because Vandy got up by 17, I think, at one point in the second half. Then you go to the first game of the SEC tournament. You mentioned it, 25 points at halftime. That's because of a 5-0 spurt at the very end, the last 45 seconds, to get to 25, right, where they're down by 7 again. Tennessee needs to get off to a quick start. Their MO this year has been they get double-digit leads on good teams and they blow it. But lately the MO's been very slow, sluggish start. Then they have to pull it together to get something done. They did that yesterday against Auburn. They need a quicker start. Oftentimes a team that's more experienced on this court can get off to the good start. We saw it with Auburn yesterday against Tennessee, who was playing fresh. Can Tennessee get off to that start against Vandy? I think it's a big statement in this game. Also, Hutton, you got two teams that could be playing for a 4 seed. However much you want to buy into Joe Lunardi and his bracketology and everything else, it does look like the Tennessee-Vandy winner today will have a shot at a 4 seed. I think with Tennessee's win over Auburn, they've avoided a 6. They're likely to stay at a 5.
At least a 5.
But there is a possibility, especially if this team could then beat Florida tomorrow, whoever wins this game, they're pretty much assured at least a 4 seed.
Well, the atmosphere inside Bridgestone Arena is going to be legit because Kentucky and Florida happening right now, followed by this game. It'll be packed, jam-packed. Someone asked me for tickets this morning. It's like, I can't do it. We can't find them.
Here's our PSA for anyone asking us for tickets.
Can't do it.
We can't do it. We can't do
tough.
it, whatever it is. Now, if we have, some, we don't have like Clay Travis connections, like $10 million connections.
Right.
But we've got some like $500,000 connections of people who own suites at the arena. But what people don't know about the SEC tournament is those suites go out the window. The SEC owns everything. So
They
any
own the arena.
business that I've asked for tickets from can't even get them because they don't have control of the suite for this tournament. So, Hutton, look at this day out here, by the way. This
That's
is
awesome, dude.
incredible backdrop.
So,
We got
okay.
the gigantic orange moonshine bottle behind us.
So we're expecting the Pride of the Southland band to show up, right?
Yes.
That's happening. The Tennessee volunteer cheerleaders will be here as well for what is a pregame festivity, the tailgate tip-off, as we called it earlier this week. Come by and check out the Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine specials. Plus, if you're joining us via YouTube, we're actually live today. I need to log in and check out the comments. If we can get that link going, that would be fantastic. And hit us up on social media as well while you're there. So tonight, Bama, Georgia, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Big Ten quarterfinals in Chicago.
By the way, can we? Our friend Jana's over here.
Oh.
Jana, can you just come show us these boots, please? If
Oh,
you get a chance, like these boots are worth the price of admission. I think she needs to come over here. Jana, come on this side. There's a microphone right there. More than
the
anything, we want
boots
to
are-
see these boots that you're rocking here today. We got to right over there. See where yeah, there we go, where the microphone is. Yeah, look at those boots. Do we have a camera on her?
Yeah, Dylan's.
Can we
got
see
going
it?
right now?
We're going to it right now. We got to show Jana's boots off. These are too good. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
Are these handmade, Jeff?
Yeah, this is great.
Okay, but breaking news about the boots.
Okay.
These are coming in all college colors
Okay, nice.
in July.
Jana said these boots are coming in all college colors in July. So if you're a Florida Gator fan or a Kentucky fan, you can get these stylish boots in
means we'll be getting
blue,
some.
in red, in crimson. An amazing look. We love it. Dylan playing the part of a movie director over here.
Yeah.
Please, ma'am, step up one more step. Okay, and now to your right and left. Jana, thank you. Beautiful boots, beautiful day, beautiful backdrop, beautiful setting. 6th and Peabody, Old Smoky, and Yeehaw. Hutton, it does not get better than March in the South.
Dude, it's
Patio weather,
this is
drinks, hoops. It's the best.
this is like the precursor to poolside, is what this is. It feels like the Masters, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it feels like March Madness.
But let's do an unofficial ranking, though. I would put even this ahead of poolside because poolside is typically, especially in the South, too hot.
No, I mean, like
this is
the
perfect.
first.
We're in light jacket weather.
This is the yeah.
It's
I'm with
sunny.
you.
You're just now getting outside where it's
But here
been
in
a rough
Nashville,
winter.
this is a tease because we will have another freeze.
We see Sleepy Danny over here for the first time
wow.
since 2024. The guy comes out of his cocoon wherever he's been. No tan at all on Sleepy Danny. Just emerging from the wilderness to be here. That's when you know it's a real special
Man,
event.
it is
When Danny makes
it is
out.
a joy to see this man.
It is.
That he's still with us.
Happily married man. Got married in Paris, I believe, right, or somewhere in France. She's
What
here.
a-
We're gonna meet her at some point. This is great.
One of the
day.
highlights of our show over the last 5 years has been a party with Sleepy Danny.
Oh yes, it was. Well, I would say
His
any party
birthday.
with Sleepy Danny
His
would be
birthday.
great, but his birthday party was legendary.
It was also our last party we were invited to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're like, all right, who are the feds that just showed up? That's what everybody at Sleepy Danny's party was thinking when we showed up. This is perfect though. Awesome surrounding. It's going to be a great day. Huge games today, starting with the one happening right now with Kentucky and Florida. But when you get to me, Hutton, this is the best day of the SEC tournament because you got the most really good teams in action.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody playing. I know Ole Miss
The
has gone
double
on a
bye,
heater.
yeah.
But pretty much everyone is going to be in the NCAA tournament next week, and you've got 4 games and not the 2 you'll have tomorrow in the semis. Just a perfect setting.
So Florida's up to a quick 6-2 lead over Kentucky, and at the half, looking at this live, Michigan leads Ohio State by 4. So Ohio State, are they getting in?
I think they're in.
Are they getting in with this win? Yes, but are they in right now?
They're in. They're in because everyone around them has lost. I mean,
Okay.
everyone. Auburn loses yesterday. Indiana
Yeah,
lost
okay.
Northwestern. Everyone who's on the bubble, no one can win. Missouri, who's right there kind of in the last 4 in right now, they lose in their first game against Kentucky. So I think by default, Ohio State's going to be fine, which I know Tyler is very excited about that.
We've got the tailgate going on here at 6th and Peabody with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine. So I've got the Blackberry Moonshine. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
You've got the Vol Lager, which is
do.
a staple now.
It is
for
a staple,
Tennessee
yeah.
Athletics.
I was just in East Tennessee
it's
in
a great beer.
Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and the Vol Lager is everywhere. Everywhere you go, you can find a Vol Lager. It's great. Very refreshing.
Big Ten quarterfinals, Michigan, Ohio State at the half. Michigan leads by 4. Illinois, Wisconsin coming up later this afternoon. Nebraska, Purdue, and then Michigan State and UCLA. Poor Mick Cronin has to make his way to Chicago for this game.
You think he flew JetBlue?
No, I think he probably
he
did, but he's going to call it steerage.
Yeah, he's going to eat a stale ham sandwich that they're going to hand to him too late for his meal. I got to worry about this damn sandwich I got to eat on this plane now after losing. The most miserable man in college basketball, Mick Cronin.
Big 12 semis, Arizona, Iowa State, my hours, 8:30 tip-off, Houston, Kansas. Big East semis, St. John, Seton Hall, UConn, and Georgetown. And then ACC semis, Virginia, Miami, Duke, and Clemson. It's just weird not mentioning UNC with that.
No, it is weird. How about Duke last night surviving Florida State? I got all into that game. They win by 1 point. Duke now, by the way, 7-0 in games decided by 1 point in the ACC tournament in their history. They've won every close game they've been a part of at the ACC tournament. They get another one yesterday.
All right, so I've got I finally got the page going up here with the internet. So we are live on YouTube right now. We hope you'll hit subscribe while you're there. Just at Outkick Hot Mic on YouTube is where you can go to subscribe to the channel and watch us live right now. We've got some comments already from the channel I believe that'll be Cal. Good. Cal's in there. We're going to also be reading this. I finally found where to go for the chats here.
There we go.
So we'll be able to do that throughout the day. So coming up, we were going to do our Cinderella picks. Here's my suggestion. You can take it.
Okay. I've got something I want to hit, too.
Okay. I'm going to do this later. Cinderella stories. TSU, after speaking with Nolan Smith yesterday, he's like, no Cinderella, we're just Tigers. Okay.
Yep.
I'm all in on them after that.
Me too.
So you and I both take TSU. I will then suggest one team. You suggest another.
Okay.
And we will both select those teams as well on our bracket blind.
And we'll put money behind it.
Yes, before we even
we'll
know
bet, we'll bet these teams' money line.
Before we even know the matchup or the seed line.
Don't need to know them. Don't even need to know who they're playing. We're picking these teams.
Okay. I'm in on that. Casey Alexander is now Kansas State.
Yeah, and if you look out there, first off, I mean, it's the right move. Okay,
because of what happened.
He's making $3.4 million a year to go to Kansas State, but you can't fault any coach at that level. And I love Belmont. It's one of the best programs in America for what they do. But you can't blame any coach for leaving the Missouri Valley Conference to go to the Big 12, a conference that's routinely going to get multiple teams in the league. With Belmont, a team that just had a great regular season, lost in the quarterfinals of their tournament, and they're done.
Well, that's why they left the OVC.
Yep.
They went to a 2-bid league at the time. And then it became a 1-bid league.
Yep.
And so you're trapped in this 1-bid league again, and you have nowhere to go after one loss after a fantastic season. No one's going to remember it. Unless you're a Belmont fan, no one's going to remember the story because the story's not going to be told on a national scale.
And Kansas State's in a weird spot right now with the way the Jerome Tang deal ended, with them, him having that press conference about these guys aren't going to represent his school next year, and then he gets fired. And there's a lot of weird stuff about how hard was he working. You're not going to have to question how hard Casey Alexander's going to work in that job.
Have you talked to Kelly about this? Kelly in Vegas?
Not. We need to get Kelly in Vegas to talk about it.
I'm surprised she hasn't reached out about this.
Yeah, she should be asking us about Casey. We were the last interview he had, I think, before he took the Kansas State job. So, by the way, you can find that interview and others at our YouTube page, at Outkick Hot Mic. But I could kind of sense the writing was on the wall with Casey Hutton. We asked a question about resources at Belmont, and his answer was telling to me about the direction they were likely to go, right? And that was he was going to bolt if given an opportunity. And I'm sure that his agent was talking to Kansas State at the time, and he knew he was likely to leave. So now where does Belmont go? I got a name for you, Brian Penny Collins, who was the last coach at TSU, who left for an assistant job with the Memphis Grizzlies. I haven't talked to Penny. I don't know what he wants to do, but you need to get a Rick Byrd guy, I think, in there and keep that chain going. And Brian Collins makes a ton of sense to me.
I think TSU is going to be open as well.
I think if not this offseason, very soon. Having talked to Nolan Smith yesterday and how impressive he is, he's going to get a bigger job pretty quickly. That's why you got to take him now, Hutton.
You do.
As our show's pick for TSU.
You got to take him now. And
take him to the tournament.
And we have 2 more suggestions, at least 2 more, coming up later in the show, plus much more. Tess Darby's going to join us former Lady Vol. She'll be with us in about 15 minutes. We've got the band warming up behind us.
Yeah. I think the pride of the Southland band is almost going to take us to break.
Yeah, how about
here
this?
Momentarily.
How about this? Let's get this link.
Hey,
retweeted.
Danny, did you play tuba or anything in high school? Were you a tuba guy? Not straight up flute. Straight up flute.
He loves the
Much
flute.
like Clay
that doesn't
Travis.
surprise me at all.
Much like Clay Travis, just a flute player over here, trying to make his way. A boy trying to make his way in the world, playing the flute. That's what Danny's done all these many years.
Quite the resume.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's get the link retweeted again. Let's share this link.
From Outkick.
Yes.
Yep.
We get some people in the league. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. And when we come back, we go through the scoreboard and we give you a preview of the upcoming big matchups for the bubble. And we tell you who to put your money behind for the Cinderellas already. Straight ahead here on Hot Mike, Hutton and Withrow, outkick.com. Trent Dilfer is in studio with us. He is a Super Bowl champion. He is a state champion coach, and he is a former college football coach who is now back coaching high school here in the Nashville area at Lipscomb Academy. Good to see you.
I appreciate how you said former college coach, like not total colossal failure as a college coach.
Hey,
I
look,
appreciate that.
Do you
Thank
feel that
you.
way? You got to go from high school to college, so I would say that's a successful venture when you get the opportunity to go straight from there to there.
You feel like a failure?
Based on the terms of wins and losses, yes, and that's how you're defined in our profession. But that's not how I define myself.
Right.
We did a lot of really cool things at UAB that will last there for years to come with academic rigors. We raised the GPA, path towards graduation, 0 off-field violations until the incident after I was fired, when I was no longer there. We had 24 baptisms at a public institution, which I'm a faith-based guy. That was really important to me. We had tons of kids that we recruited. We got punished for doing what we did well, which we recruited as good as anybody in the country at the group of 5 level and developed as good as anybody. And that's evident in the data. We lost more players, and those players are playing on college football playoff teams. The starting guard for Ole Miss was a kid I found on Instagram, had 0 offers that I personally found on Instagram in a DM, recruited him, developed him, lost him in 2 years, and he's starting for Ole Miss in the playoff. Like, I can go on and on. Houston's wide receivers, this year Oregon's wide receivers. I can go position everywhere. Georgia's safety. I can go on and on and on. And so we're really proud of how we recruited and how we developed. Unfortunately, we had no money, so we couldn't retain them.
Yeah, and I was going to jump in and say, you had, I don't know about your support behind the scenes. Again, it's more than just a coach leaving the high school program, jumping into college football, and you did it right in the middle of the craziness. Chad and I were just talking about Cody Campbell and his pursuit to get the SEC and the Big Ten on board with the national plan that's going to be a part of the College Sports Council discussion, maybe as early as next week. Man, you were right in the middle of the ring of fire.
I mean, it changed.
Right?
It changed like 3 weeks after I took the job. So NIL was a thing. I knew it. We thought we had a plan. In the interview process, I went over the plan. I had a plan. This is what it's going to look like. Here's how I projected unfolding. Here's what we'll need resource-wise, blah, blah, blah. I jump in. And then it went from like, hey, some kids are making some money to the only thing that's talked about is negotiating with street agents about kids in the portal. There were 1,000-ish kids in the portal. My first portal thing, the first portal cycle I was in, there were 7,000. So now your personnel department has to adjust. So you hire a personnel department to do high school recruiting, but then 3 weeks in, I'm hiring, personnel guys to look at portal all the time. And now you're trying to balance, do you do high school recruiting? Do you portal recruiting? How are you going to shape your team? And then the money, we were losing players. Our spring ball, our defense looked pretty good. I'm like, okay, we'll be competitive. We weren't going to be great, but we're going to be competitive. We had a difference maker safety, Jalen Key. A difference maker. And a kid that if he would have stayed with us, I had multiple scouts and GMs telling me he'd been a second, third round pick.
Christian Hackenberg joins us. Always great to catch up with the Penn State Nittany Lion. Good to see you, man. Hope things are well.
What's up, fellas? Appreciate you having me on again.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you've been through the combine deal as a second round pick. Does it suck? Like all the players that are going through that last week, is it ridiculous, or does it actually, when you're there, feel like a job interview?
There's elements of both. I mean, it is brutal, and I think that's partly by design, and that's why I've hated how much we've commercialized it up until this point, right? Like, there's so much that goes into it from a TV and just revenue driving standpoint. But at the end of the day, I mean, you hit the field, that's the last thing you do. So you do medical exams, you're sitting in MRIs, you're getting poked and prodded every which way, blood drawn, you're up at 4 a.m, 5 a.m for drug tests randomly, so I think there's an element to it that's good, because you're not really able to prepare for all of those things, no matter how much you try. But at the end of the day, the commercialization of it and how much I think the fans put into it doesn't really, the reality of the situation doesn't always like come out. So, I mean, it's a brutal experience, but if you're able to get through it, it definitely helps.
You have any horror stories or memorable meetings that for the bad reasons?
Well, there's some fun ones. I mean, for me, the hardest part was I was an underclassman, so I didn't get to do the Senior Bowl or anything like that. So my opportunity to get in front of GMs and ownership was much more limited.
Yeah.
So my one day, I think I had like 14 of those official ones in a row with like one 15-minute break. So it was just like back to back to back. Probably the most mentally draining like 3 hours I ever had.
Who was the toughest on you?
The toughest on me? Yeah, it's interesting. Like, no one was really super tough.
Really?
I remember the 49ers were really funny. Chip didn't say anything. Ryan Day was the quarterback coach. Chip didn't say anything the whole meeting. And then the last question he asked me, like, everyone went through everything. Like, you're good. Ryan Day took me through the board session. Like, everything was clean.
NCAA tournament. Conference tournaments going on, and we're in the Mecca, the SEC tournament, right here in Nashville. 6th and Peabody with Yeehaw Beer and Old Smoky Moonshine, our location every day, except we're out here in the beer garden, here in the Palatial. The Palatial.
Hutton, is there a city more synonymous with a conference tournament outside of New York City and the Big East than Nashville and the SEC currently? Because the ACC left Greensboro. And now they're in Charlotte. I would have said Greensboro, North Carolina, a random location.
Yeah.
Would have been right there because that's where they were every year. But now I think Nashville's it. I think it's New York City and Nashville as the two hot spots for conference tournaments.
Maybe Chicago, but maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State tied at 44.
That
St. Louis and George Washington, a 3-point game in the second half, about 6 minutes left or so. And La Tech, Missouri State, 1-point game there. We're just going through the scores because maybe you've got a little action on it, maybe. Right now, Florida up to a 10-point lead. It's 18-8 first half.
Yeah, no one's
Gators
beaten Florida.
over the Wild Course.
No one's beaten Florida in this tournament. Hate to break it to the rest of the field, but Florida's going to win this thing.
There was a time where no one was beating the team that Tess Darby was on.
It's true.
We called a few of those games.
The gold standard of women's basketball, I would still maintain, begins in Knoxville with Pat Summitt and the Lady Vols.
Former Lady Vol, Tess Darby, is here with us on site at 6th and Peabody.
Tess, first off, you got to show the back of your shirt here. This is fantastic.
Oh, that's
There's a
nice.
Vol for life on the back. Great. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
It's good to see you. So, first off, here supporting your alma mater, obviously. Tennessee, you got the party going on behind us right now. This seems important to you. Like, this seems like something that means a lot to you. In an era of NIL and transfer portal and everything else, that's not always the case with people who go to schools, but you are a Vol for life, as they say, right?
Yes, sir, of course, Vol for life. Love the University of Tennessee and everything that the university has given me, and anytime I can come back and support this university, as we call it, the everything school, I'll be the first one in line.
So your former coach for 1 year, Kim Caldwell, is facing a lot of scrutiny for what was a disappointing year. I think everybody would say that. I'm sure she would say the same thing. Is some of the criticism fair? I know Andrea Carter and other former Lady Vols have weighed in on this also. Is the criticism fair, and what do you think about the job that she's done or the job she's trying to do?
You know, I think Coach Kim is doing a phenomenal job. I had a great experience for my final season on Rocky Top. And I think rebuilding takes time. And it just doesn't happen overnight. And for the ones that are kind of saying, you know, that this year has probably not been as good, they've actually placed higher in the SEC tournament than what we did last year. So I think that just also goes to prove that the conference that they play in, the SEC, is no joke in women's basketball and in any sport.
Did you start on senior day? On your senior day?
Not.
Okay. Did you quit after you didn't start on senior day?
I did not.
Okay.
Everyone has their own experience. I played under 2 coaching staffs. I did not start on either senior day. But
On either senior day, my God.
I had 2, and if I had another one, I wish I had another one. I wish I could. NCAA, if you're listening.
It's like
please
John
give me another year.
John Fulkerson had 3, I think, in his time there too. So.
Gosh, I would give anything to go back there, and I think if anyone truly knows me, they know I would be wearing that Tennessee orange and the Lady Ball blue very proudly.
Did you expect to start, though?
No, because Coach Kim's system is numbers-based, and my previous game, I did not perform. I don't even know my stats, what I had, but it obviously wasn't up to the standard that
I was
needed.
way wrong on this. I just thought, like, if you're a senior, you start on senior day. Like, that's what we did in high school. I haven't played since high school, but, Chad, did you start on senior day?
I remember.
You were
well,
starter
and that's
anyway.
I was
riding the bench.
Who are you asking over here, hon? Of course I was started on senior day because I was starting. But there are schools that have like 8 seniors on the team, so I have seen before where they'll like take a technical to start the game, and they'll announce all 8 players as a senior starter. So I mean, again, that's more of a high school thing. I can see both sides. Like, if you've been there and you've given your all for the program, like, it's a ceremonial thing. You put them out there, you take them out immediately if they're not someone who's in the rotation normally. Or take them out at the under 16 timeout, or in women's game in that first timeout. But I also feel like when it rains, it pours, and there's a lot of just noise around the program, right? So that just added to it. When Kaya Wynn is who we're talking about, she quits the team after not starting on senior day. It just feels like a lot of things going on where, Tess, this is a team that kind of needs a reset. I mean, to me, I feel like the end of the season can't get here fast enough for this group. Would you agree, watching them?
You know, I think this time in March, they played in the SEC tournament. Things didn't go how they hoped, but now they've had about a week and a half to regroup. This is the most important time in women's basketball. You step away, you get a break. I call it a refresh reset. I would always go back home, start over, and I would be so happy to come back. And it's just like a fresh new breath of air.
So and they're not playing their star player in the SEC tournament for a long period of time, right? Do you need, because in today's college sports, you can completely change your roster quickly, right? If someone's not bought in. Is that something you'd expect to see, or do you think it's more of a gradual change with certain players?
You know, I think it just depends on the player. Everyone had a different experience. I bleed orange, never thought about leaving the University of Tennessee, but sometimes you don't know if the grass is always greener on the other side too. So to each their own, but I bleed orange and I love the University of Tennessee, and I wish everyone felt the same way.
What is NIL like for the Lady Vols program?
I would say the NIL is tremendous for the Lady Vols because of the brand that we have. Went on a foreign tour to Europe, and everyone knew what the Lady Vols program was. And I don't think that's the same for every other women's basketball sport.
No doubt.
Not trying to throw any shade, but I love the Lady Vols.
I've always wondered, like, you got, football, basketball, and then there's, the Lady Vols. And then Vitello's there, and you got all the...
Well, and
the money spread around.
And I think unfairly they've been pitted against each other. I mean, you know what's going on right now. Danny White sides with the Lady Vols basketball over baseball, and that's why Tony Vitello left. Whether that's true or not, I think that's kind of unfair because everyone can make money, right, in different ways. Do you know what every player makes? You got to talk about it, right? Like, I feel like you would know the top earners on your team and what they're making. I would want to know.
Yeah.
You know, I never really knew. A lot of people say outside of sports that NIL basically tears apart locker rooms. That was never the case whenever I played. Never asked, never wanted to know, but people ask about my experience with NIL. I loved it. I felt like it was just a different way that I could represent my name, my brand, what I wanted to be known for, but also what company I wanted representing me. And I think I'm getting my NIL right now just playing at a university like Tennessee. I mean, you can hear the band behind us.
Yeah.
They're here supporting us on a Friday afternoon. So it's just a different place at the University of Tennessee.
Which team did you personally hate the most?
At Tennessee?
Yep.
trick question, I feel
No,
like.
no, it's not.
No.
Obviously, I have to go with UConn. I feel like just the rivalry,
Right.
the historic program.
But I'm just saying, you personally, like, just go with, like, who did you just,
LSU.
Okay.
LSU. It was just a fun, crazy environment to play against, but I think because
That's a good
we
answer.
both wanted what every team in college sports wanted, we are head and head in recruiting. It was just an awesome game environment, but always wanted to win.
Could you pull off Kim Mulkey's wardrobe if you tried?
I don't know.
Would you ever try? Like, do you have a lot of sequins in your closet, or?
Now that I'm actually going to games as a fan, yes, but I don't know if I can do the feathers. But here I am wearing a Ball for Life
It's a
sweater that
lot.
she
If you
usually
can work a
wears.
boa into a wardrobe, you've really done something well, and she certainly does that. Hutton, you've got some notes.
Okay, so this was very organic because we did not realize that we had called your game, your state championship game in Tennessee.
This also speaks to our terrible memories.
No.
As we get a little bit older, like
this is true.
We've called enough games now where I'm like, I'm pretty sure we called her state championship game.
When Chad and I call a football or basketball state title game or whatever, like once it's over, I forget about it. Like I just
It's
go
like
on to the
cramming
next,
for a midterm.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
the
think
same
of it that
thing with
way.
scouting report. I don't know everything about a player.
Like, how
and
much
then
you
whenever
know-
it's over, it's over.
How much do you remember
amazing.
about calculus, in high school or college too? Nothing.
Nothing.
I couldn't tell you anything, but I could pass the test when it was time.
That's exactly
That's us
right.
for the game.
So you won a state title in 2018 as a sophomore, right?
Correct.
Okay, this is a K through 12 school that you attended.
Yes, 32 in my graduating class. And
32.
just to add a cherry on
Wow.
top, I'm here in Nashville going back and forth to Murfreesboro, so shout out the Greenfield Lady Jackets.
Nice. Are
They're
they back?
playing in the or not, they're playing in the state championship today in the semifinals.
That's awesome.
So what I did, so it was Greenfield against Summertown.
Uh-huh.
But Greenfield doesn't wear green, right?
No, we're
They're
orange.
the orange and black. I do remember that.
Why is that?
That's a question a lot of people ask, and I still don't have the answer. I don't know if a lot of people
So
do.
you are the Yellow Jackets too, right?
We're the Yellow Jackets.
And
so
they're
we have
orange and
yellow,
black.
but
Yeah.
we have green in our
Hutton,
title.
it's Tennessee. It's the same way we say Lafayette instead
Yeah.
of Lafayette. We
Yeah.
just do what we want and pronounce things how we want here.
That's correct.
Or instead of Shelbyville, it's like
Shovel.
shovel, just like you're digging a ditch. Shovel.
Instead of Santa Fe, it's Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
All these things are true.
Okay, so tell me where I'm wrong here, okay? One of your teammates with the last name Little was your best defender. Swiss Army knife and a workhorse. That's all I have on one of the starters there. I'll get to you last. We've got Chloe Moore. Since kindergarten, started as a fifth grader on the middle school team. Point guard, floor general, starts with her and the balls in her hands all the time.
True? Is this true?
Are
we
all
good
this
so
is
far?
really true.
Great attacking the basket, getting others shots, and sees the floor so well. Again, this is straight from your coach, I think. Wright was the third lunch pill group, whatever that means, and a beater and banger down low,
Wow.
Annandale was a gritty one down
Yeah.
low.
and a smart kid apparently.
I was never referred to as that in my playing
beater and
days.
banger down low.
A beater and banger down low is not my
Harris
game.
was a strong defender, a defensive stopper, a matchup with one of the best offensive players, and lunch pill. Biggs was apparently a freshman, and okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
And I've also got your sister on here. Your sister was an eighth grader. Sub-rotation generally starts with Biggs, but once they get into the game, she'll play a bit. And didn't join the team until mid-December,
Yes.
apparently,
So is she in this game right now, or she's playing?
as an eighth grader.
K through 12. So since we're all under one roof, TWSAA.
No, I'm saying is she still in high school?
No, she's in. She's a senior. She played on the Lady Vols with me.
Oh,
She
okay,
medically
okay.
retired this past season.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you were you run a lot of sets in offense. They run a lot of sets in offense through you. Tough matchup, can post up, also step out and shoot the three. Very versatile, great length, strong defender, blocks and contest shots very well.
Now
That's
the
all I
strong
have.
defender might be a stretch. I don't know how well
Well, it
that
says she blocks
translated
and
to
contest
college.
shots. So, I mean, that would be.
We tend to lean positive in the
I like
high school
it, I like
broadcast. So
What do you think about
we
great
can
length?
fib a little bit about
If
you being a great
is that
defender.
in fact, like, man, she's got like just what a
Yeah.
great length on this player. Like, I would be like, that's kind of generic.
No, I think I know we're talking about high school,
Yes.
but in the SEC, I mean, teams are ginormous. Like, I feel tall compared to outside, but whenever I'm lined up with my team, I'm like, wow.
How tall were you here in this as a sophomore?
6 foot maybe. I'm
Okay,
6'1"
well, that's
now,
true
so
then.
I haven't really
Yeah.
grown that much.
You didn't shoot up in college or saying
No,
at all?
sadly.
When did you hit your growth spurt, Chad?
I was 6 foot tall in 8th grade, and I was 5'5" in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I was 5'5", 165 pounds, which for those keeping score at home, that's not a great height and weight for a fifth grader.
Well, you're Tom Cruise.
I was like the round mound of three-point shooting at that point. And then I got to 6 foot in 8th grade. So I had one big growth spurt from like 5'6" to 6 feet. And then I went from 6 foot to 6'2" as a freshman, 6'2" to 6'3" as a sophomore. So then I was done growing. When were you done growing? Sophomore year? Junior year?
Yeah, probably.
Before that?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was it for me, unfortunately. But I did not earn a scholarship to the University of Tennessee like Tess did.
I didn't hit my growth spurt until my junior year. And that's when I became cool. I was short until then.
Yeah. Height can do a lot.
Cool junior high school.
I can do a lot. Tess, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tess.
This was
thanks
awesome.
so much for having me, and go Lady Vols as always.
Yes.
Are you nervous about today's game against Vandy?
You know, I'm not.
Wow.
I found myself in the crowd yesterday, pumping my arms and doing my three-point celebration. Wild comeback win, but defense stepped up when it needed to.
This weekend is the best because, especially if you're already in the tournament, it's not the ultimate stress on every game.
Right.
Next week is pain. Right? Like, you know that having played in NCAA tournaments. Next week is straight pain. From the first timeout on TV, and I was making sure that we were not under attack for a second. We are okay.
Smoke
all right.
machines or whatever.
Good time to test that out. Couldn't have waited 15 minutes, you know. But yeah, it's total pain. You fall behind 4-2, and you feel like it's all over, right?
I remember yesterday the play where Felix blocked a shot, pinned it up against the backboard, and then Jacoby goes down. In my opinion, should have been an and one. I felt like that was the momentum builder right there.
It was fun. Hey, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me.
Tess Darby, social media, you want to give that out or no?
I couldn't even tell you my social media right now.
That's great.
Props on that. Hey, check us out on the YouTube page. Why don't you? It's at Outkick Hot Mic. Chad, we want people to subscribe right now, right?
Yep, at Outkick Hot Mic, become a subscriber. And you got to put the @ symbol in there, at Outkick Hot Mic. And once you do that, you can watch our show. Hopefully you'll get alerted when we're on, and you can follow us that way.
3ML commenter says, wait, why does Hut look like clay?
You're not the first person to ask that question.
Yeah.
I am shocked right now, Hutton, with the amount of people around here at this event that someone is not mistaking you for clay already.
If that happens, I will just go with it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Instead of Clay Travis, I will be Stray Travis today.
Clay, thank you what you do for America, man. We're going to get that at least once or twice here today.
His autograph. Yeah, we'll
thank you so much.
I will sign a kid's forehead today.
Thank you for that $10 million to Vandy Law. Appreciate it.
And then he also says, awesome interview with Nolan Smith. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Back with more straight ahead here on Hot Mic.
When you hear that wrestling is back, what do you think? And is it something that ever really went away to begin with?
So I thought, because I was thinking, I always try to think, who's my audience? This is a huge audience and all this. It's sports minded, but you guys, we're born and raised here in town. Did you ever think that you would see the day that professional wrestling is on ESPN?
No.
I'm watching promos during college basketball on Saturday for the WWE event, and I'm thinking, this is wild, the way it's being covered throughout the day on ESPN during a college basketball Saturday. Just
in
building
your
up to the
community.
event. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to jump in. But, your local community and ours, we went down to the fairgrounds every Saturday night. Wrestling was almost a 4-letter word. But the reality is the commander-in-chief, if you will, is in the same Hall of Fame that I'm in.
Yeah, that's right.
It is if you look at touchdown celebrations, slam dunks, whatever it may be, you see a wrestling celebration. God forbid I say this, that whether it's politics or sports or whatever it is, you see some wrestling promos. But, that's the thing, and to kind of dial back into the documentary, my grandmother started in 1946. Who would have ever dreamed the business would evolve like it is today? But, AEW, we've got a show on tonight on Dynamite on TBS, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Our show's on, HBO Max. It is a global Netflix. I don't have to get into that. When you start doing in deals that start with a B, as in a billion, I would say that wrestling has kind of come out of the smoky field, back alley, National Guard armories. It's to this day, it blows my mind.
And hey, even though it's real to me, damn it, that all of that came out in an era without kayfabe. It grew to the. That's what blows my mind is it's grown to this. It's on ESPN with everyone being in on it. Like that. That's the surprising part to me.
So, boy, if I had time to kind of go in a rabbit hole, I need to get you guys on my podcast. Drops new episodes every Tuesday. There's my simple plug. But, my father used to tell me, hey, son, it doesn't matter. You can protect it and kayfabe, and you can have all that sense of stuff. But the reality is, just like when you walk into a movie theater, he would use that analogy. But I always like this analogy. We have no idea who's going to go to the World Series or the Super Bowl or hockey, whatever it is. As sports fans, if you are a sports fan, you get dialed into the story. The Tom Brady days, I mean, he was either the biggest baby face or you hated his stinking guts. But it's the emotion that came out of it. Professional wrestling is that very simplistic. You don't have to know about a blue line or icing or offsides or shot clock or anything. It's good versus evil. Just pick up a chair, pick up a guitar, knock somebody out. But, we don't have seasons. So that is at the very essence of it, whether it's kayfabe or not, and the cat's out of the bag, it is without question unbelievable entertainment. And I think people understand, take it for what it is, and I match us as a group of athletes against anybody.
Trent Dilfer is in studio with us. He is a Super Bowl champion. He is a state champion coach, and he is a former college football coach who is now back coaching high school here in the Nashville area at Lipscomb Academy. Good to see you.
I appreciate how you said former college coach, like not total colossal failure as a college coach.
Hey,
I appreciate that.
Do you feel that way? You got to go from high school to college. So I would say that's a successful venture when you get the opportunity to go straight from there to there.
You feel like a failure?
Based on the terms of wins and losses, yes, and that's how you're defined in our profession. But that's not how I define myself. Right. We did a lot of really cool things at UAB that will last there for years to come with academic rigors. We raised the GPA, path towards graduation, 0 off-field violations until the incident after I was fired when I was no longer there. We had 24 baptisms at a public institution, which I'm a faith-based guy. That was really important to me. We had tons of kids that we recruited. We got punished for doing what we did well, which we recruited as good as anybody in the country at the group of 5 level and developed as good as anybody. And that's evident in the data. We lost more players, and those players are playing on college football playoff teams. The starting guard for Ole Miss was a kid I found on Instagram, had 0 offers that I personally found on Instagram in a DM, recruited him, developed him, lost him in 2 years, and he's starting for Ole Miss in the playoff. Like, I can go on and on.
6th and Peabody, our location with Yeehaw Beer, Old Smoky Moonshine, Hot Mike Hutton and Withrow, outkick.com. Streaming live on YouTube as well. Outkick Hot Mike is the YouTube channel. Join us in the chat like we have seen with Slays717 and 3ML Commenter as well.
Nice.
Appreciate that, guys. I have no idea if this is Slay right or not. It doesn't come across as a username he would say or use, but maybe it's him.
He could be, the Kentucky-Florida game's happening right now, so he's not on actual television.
Maybe. Ron Slay.
Doing the pre and post, so maybe, Slay's a buddy.
Yep.
Maybe he's doing that right now.
So
perfect patio weather here, Hut. Perfect.
Oh, it's fantastic. And we've Tennessee and Vanderbilt coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Right now, it's Kentucky and Florida, 8-point game, 5.5 minutes to play. Ron Slay, former Vol, gave me some great background stories playing hoops with Chad. And there's someone else here that has some great background on him as well.
This is a nice little surprise. Brian Kagi is a fraternity brother of mine. Kegs, come over here, please, to this microphone.
He goes by Kegs?
To your left. I know him as Kegs.
I
don't think this is like the typical college frat, friendship story.
Yes.
I don't know that I ever fully knew his name until like 3rd year at Tennessee, and it is Brian Kagi, and he's here with us right now. This dude right here and you're going to see him. He's very good shape right now, for a man that's in his 40s. I hate to out everybody here, but we're all in our 40s
you
now.
Look much younger.
He was the reason I didn't start at quarterback all 4 years for the frat team in football, because he started over me as I was a wide receiver early on. There was some controversy around that decision, I will say, but no, he was very good. Did a good job. Great seeing you, man.
Yeah, good seeing you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. So I know of one story that's just epic about Withrow. And I feel like Kegs will know the background of this.
Okay.
The Balanced Man Scholarship Award.
Okay, yeah. From SIGEP.
Yes, from
Yeah.
SIGEP. But you accepted is it $1,000 from SIGEP, and then you pledged Sigma Nu?
It was a number that, like, today wasn't a lot, but then felt like a lot. I think it was $1,000.
This was NIL for you.
Yeah, it was my NIL.
Awesome.
They basically bribed me $1,000 to join, and I still went to Sigma Nu, in part because of Kegs over here, yes. And then we taunted Sig up with it at one point, right?
Big time.
Absolutely, you
We'd
did.
win. We were like, we took your guy.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing. Oh, yeah.
We beat them. I remember our pledge team beat their brothers in like the flag football tournament, and then we taunted them with the placard of my Balanced Man scholarship.
What idiots would hand out a Balanced Man Scholarship Award?
To me?
No.
That's a question I've been asking for years.
No, not just to you, but to someone who wasn't even in the frat yet.
Well, it's to get them to
even
join the
pledged.
frat.
Well, it's exactly what just happened with the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean,
Max Crosby.
Kegs, you know how it goes. Like, it's sort of a wink and a nod.
Yeah.
We're going to invite you to this banquet. These are our top 6 candidates.
I love this.
We're going to give all 6 a Balanced Man scholarship. And I was the only one of the 6 that didn't join, I think, in the end. I had to go with my heart, Hutton. I had to go with my heart. I went with Kegs in Sigma Nu for that very reason.
Hey, I got a scholarship as well. It was from my uncle that I never met, and he paid for my dues. So that it all the same.
3ML commenter says, I can outdrink Chad. He's a lightweight.
Possibly.
I don't think.
Today, maybe. In 2003, no.
We don't know who this is, but I doubt it.
Kegs, by the way, as our flag football quarterback, he played rugby also. So where I'd consider myself more of a dual threat, I'd actually throw a forward pass. This dude was an expert at the scramble and the pitch because of his rugby work. Like, it was incredible. You were really ahead of your time. Like, now guys improvise how they throw more and more.
You were Malik Willis for the Titans.
Not a traditional quarterback. He didn't throw in a traditional way. Is that a good description?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the way he played. It was great. Kegs, you're the man.
All right.
Chug that beer for us.
What is this, beer number 2, 3?
I actually had a nice little French 75 for lunch. So
yeah.
Good.
It's a high
Fill it
roller.
up again.
All right.
He did better than me after college, is what we found out now with his French 75 for lunch. Kegs, thank you, sir.
Yep, you got it.
Appreciate it.
The man.
Yeah.
The man, the myth.
Very Kyler Murray-like as a quarterback.
You said you didn't know his name until recently. I didn't remember meeting him the first time. And then he immediately said it was a football game, and it was the Bowling Green game, Joe Milton's first game as of all.
Josh Heupel's first game.
When we learned that Joe Milton did not want to deliver contact. Remember this?
Yeah.
He took the hit, absorbed the hit from the Bowling Green safety.
He got knocked down at the 1, and that was a warning sign.
That's when we knew it.
That was a warning sign early on that maybe Hendon Hooker's going to be the guy.
All right, so who's going to be the teams? So we've got some Cinderellas. Should we call them something else? Upset winners already. Put your money behind it, as we will. We've got 3 picks. Chad, you may have 2 extra. We're both going to tell you right now, no matter the matchup, in the bracket, by the time we come back on the air on Monday, go ahead and fill out the bracket and select the Tennessee State Tigers to win round 1. That could be the play-in game. We're talking about round 1. They're going to move on to the round of 32.
So, talking to Nolan Smith yesterday, I asked him, what was the number one thing you took away from Coach K? And the answer surprised me. I think discipline and standards and how to run a program. And he said, no, it was the confidence he would instill in his players, that he was better than anyone he's ever had at making all of his players feel like they're better than the opponent and that they're going to get the job done and they're going to make every shot.
Yep.
And when I talk to Nolan Smith, I get some of that same aura about the confidence this TSU Tigers team plays with. Watching them in that OVC championship, Hut, that feels like a confident group. Anyone who's pulled this upset off, St. Peter's, Maryland, Baltimore County, go down the list. They play with such confidence when they're shooting the ball that gives me some hope in TSU pulling off a gigantic upset in round 1.
So the last time TSU was in the big dance, Bill Clinton was in his first term. The Lion King was the #1 movie in the world.
Great film.
Carlos Rogers was a lottery pick from TSU. This week, they're a legitimate problem for whoever sees them in the bracket. Top 40 in the country in defensive turnover rate and shot making. They have 21 overall victories. That's the most in its Division I era for TSU. It's the most OVC wins they've had. They have 15. They've never won an NCAA tournament.
That's going to change. It's going to change next week with TSU.
32 years it's been since they've been in the tournament. They're back, and they are a rebounding machine. That means they can keep the game tight, or they can rebound second chance opportunities and nail some threes and get off to a quick lead. Chad, who do you have as your Cinderella, your just put the money behind it selection?
You know, I'm a big Ivy League guy over here, Hut.
You are.
I like the Ivy champion, and they're in the semis right now, so they're not automatically in. They got to win 2 games. But the regular season Ivy League champion, the Yale Bulldogs. Anytime I'm going to pick an upset with one of these teams, you have to have a minimum 40% three-point shooting percentage.
Okay.
And the teams that can shoot 40% or better are going to give themselves a chance. Yale right around 41%. They're out rebounding their opponents. James Jones has been there before. He's pulled off an upset before. They beat Auburn early in a tournament just recently, not too long ago.
Yep.
I really like this Yale team. I like their chances. I think they're likely to be in a 12-5 game, so they could be a popular pick in that 12-5 game.
Let me look up Lenardi right now.
Give me the Yale Bulldogs. Last I saw, they were a 12. But again, they got to win these next 2 games in their Ivy League tournament. But give me Yale.
You have one more pick, I think?
Nope, that was it.
No, that's it? Okay. Give me High Point. Give me the Panthers of High Point. Back-to-back auto bids. A 13 seed last year. They lost to Purdue by 12 in the opening round. Regular season, Winthrop beat them bad. And then High Point won by 2 against Winthrop. Then they played for the conference championship in the tournament, and they won by 15. 30 wins is
another team that shoots a ton of threes.
A ton. 30 wins is a record for the program and the conference for the Big South. Their offense is like Gonzaga. Space and pace, man, is how you describe it. And they're second in the nation in scoring. They average over 90 points per game. Their offense is 8th in the nation in field goal percentage. They shoot 50% from the floor. And they lead the nation in steals and turnover margin. This is an upset pick to back. And they're likely to be a 12 seed. You're telling me.
Yep.
I saw, I finally got it pulled up here. We'll see exactly
and
where
we'll pick a bigger upset once the brackets come out, because I think both teams are going to be 12 seeds as long as Yale goes on to win.
Right now, we have High Point as a 12 facing Vanderbilt. And Lunardi has Vanderbilt as a 5 right now.
Yep. Tennessee and Vandy both at a 5. That's why I think the winner of today's game coming up could be a 4. I don't think it's guaranteed, but they could move up to a 4 seed.
And I'm looking for, let's see where.
Yale's 12.
You see it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Yale, yes. Yale's a 12 against Arkansas.
Yep.
Not Tennessee. Right now, Tennessee would be facing Akron.
So I think Yale, we're going to find some even lower than that, past the 12 seed line that we're going to take. But for right now, those are teams I feel pretty good about.
Do you know where TSU is currently?
15.
Okay, so they're not in the play-in?
No, 16 actually, last I saw.
Oh, so they're
16
up to 15.
Okay, 15.
Against Iowa State, who's moved up a seed.
Okay.
Seed line to number 2. They're a 2 seed. That's good. I don't want to see them in the play-in.
No.
They've been way better than that.
Nope.
A quick break, shall we? And then we wrap up?
Yep, let's do it.
6 at Peabody location, Yeehaw Beer, Old Smoking Moonshine, Hot Mike, Cut and Withrow. Back after this. Trent Dilfer is in studio with us. He is a Super Bowl champion. He is a state champion coach, and he is a former college football coach who is now back coaching high school here in the Nashville area at Lipscomb Academy. Good to see you.
I appreciate how you said former college coach, like not total colossal failure as a college coach.
Hey, look,
I appreciate that.
Do you
Thank
feel that
you.
way? You got to go from high school to college. So I would say that's a successful venture when you get the opportunity to go straight from there to there.
You feel like a failure?
Based on the terms of wins and losses, yes, and that's how you're defined in our profession. But that's not how I define myself.
Right.
We did a lot of really cool things at UAB that will last there for years to come with academic rigors. We raised the GPA, path towards graduation, 0 off-field violations until the incident after I was fired, when I was no longer there. We had, 24 baptisms at a public institution, which I'm a faith-based guy. That was really important to me. We had tons of kids that we recruited. We got punished for doing what we did well, which we recruited as good as anybody in the country at the group of 5 level and developed as good as anybody. And that's evident in the data. We lost more players, and those players are playing on college football playoff teams. The starting guard for Ole Miss was a kid I found on Instagram, had 0 offers that I personally found on Instagram in a DM, recruited him, developed him, lost him in 2 years, and he's starting for Ole Miss in the playoff. Like, I can go on and on. Houston's wide receivers, this year Oregon's wide receivers. I can go position everywhere. Georgia's safety. I can go on and on and on. And so we're really proud of how we recruited and how we developed. Unfortunately, we had no money, so we couldn't retain them.
Yeah, and I was going to jump in and say, you had, I don't know about your support behind the scenes. Again, it's more than just a coach leaving the high school program, jumping into college football, and you did it right in the middle of the craziness. Chad and I were just talking about Cody Campbell and his pursuit to get the SEC and the Big Ten on board with the national plan that's going to be a part of the College Sports Council discussion, maybe as early as next week. Man, you were right in the middle of the ring of fire.
I mean, it changed. Right? It changed like 3 weeks after I took the job. So NIL was a thing. I knew it. We thought we had a plan. In the interview process, I went over the plan. I had a plan. This is what it's going to look like. Here's how I projected unfold.
Getting closer to tip-off of Tennessee and Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament. Right now, it's in Florida, the Gators leading by, I believe, 7.
33-26.
Under 2 minutes to play over at Bridgestone Arena, which is just a tee shot away. I'll say a tee shot away from where we stand right now at 6th of the Peabody with Yabir and also
a John Daly tee shot away, I would say.
Mine.
Yeah.
Not mine.
No one here.
Chad, what do you think about the Tennessee Oilers returning to Nashville? I don't hate the new Tennessee Titans uniforms. I don't. But this idea that the Titans are somehow going to push this theory, this notion that it's distinctly Tennessee, you got to do better than that.
Yeah.
Just act like you're merging everything together in this new era, in this new stadium. That would be more respectable than this is distinctly Tennessee. This is the Houston Oilers.
It's the Houston Oilers jersey. And you can see it.
The numbers are exactly the same.
You'll see exactly what we're talking about with it.
Yep.
So I think the jersey and the logo is an improvement. So I'm excited for the Titans that they have something that looks better. I think the whole look is better. I am consistent on this point. I do not give a shit about the Houston Oilers and the connection to Nashville, Tennessee. Why do I not care? Because there is no connection other than one super rich family bringing the team here.
Here's what I know,
and that's it. So it feels like Amy Adams Strunk said, you get me my old Oilers uniforms and sell it to the public however you need to sell it. And now it's this pretzel act by everyone in the front office having to say, oh, it's a Tennessee. Look at the TriStar, and look at the guitar strings, and look at the.
Yeah.
It's the Oilers uniform.
Yeah.
But now again, I'm also telling you, I think it's a better uniform.
It will.
I think it looks better. I think the logo looks better. I think it's all very cool. I think it's smart to do this with the new stadium.
Yep.
All of those things.
Hey, check out the stadium, the renderings here with the new logo. Here's the thing.
As my grandfather once said, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. These are the Oilers uniforms.
Totally agree with you. We're saying, okay, we don't care about the Houston Oilers, but fans will buy these jerseys.
Yeah.
They weren't buying the other ones. And it comes down to Cam Ward, Jeffrey. They need more players with a name on their back and then the Titans on the front that people want to actually wear and buy. But the logo on the stadium, that looks sweet.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really, really clean and much better. It's a huge upgrade over what was one of the worst uniforms in the league, quite frankly.
I agree.
Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Not bad uniforms.
Nope.
You taking Vols today?
Good colors on the court together. I'm not going to the game.
If they win, are you going to the game?
Maybe tomorrow, but I've got
tickets.
I got coaching responsibilities later tonight. I think it's a total toss-up game. I think the first two games, I think Tennessee, really didn't play great for much of the game in Nashville, and nor did Vanderbilt. They were not at their best in that game either, but Tennessee came up with all the plays down the stretch. And then in the second game, Tennessee buried such a big hole for themselves, they couldn't climb out of it. I think we're going to get a completely different game. I don't know what that game is, Hutton, but I think it's going to be a completely different iteration of this series, the third go-around. So it's going to be fun either way. And I do think there are some stakes because the winner of this game could be in line for a 4 seed.
I'm taking the balls here, and when we return to the show, we will have a bracket.
Yes.
We will have a bracket.
Yes,
hey, is it outkick.com/sweepstakes? It is. Outkick.com/sweepstakes is where you go. You can, you and a friend, you and a colleague, maybe a spouse.
Yeah.
Maybe just someone you don't know. You just walk in the stadium.
Hey, you want to go to a trip with me?
Championship
Could be
game.
that type of deal.
You've got the flight, you've got the hotel, and you have your 2 tickets to the championship game covered. Just check out the QR code on the screen right there, or just head to outkick.com/sweepstakes. Do that right now. When we return on Monday, we get after the brackets. But we already know 3 winners. And we all win this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
The biggest night in college hoops
is coming back to Indianapolis.
One lucky fan and a guest straight into the building.
Flight covered.
Hotel
covered. Your 2 championship tickets
covered. Go to outkick.com/sweepstakes.
Get in on all the action.